Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Domenico, and today I'm going to be checking out my absolute all-time favorite guitar amp sim. This is by Scuffum Amps, and it's S-Gear. At the moment, we're in version 3.24, so that's what's currently available. And now, this amp sim, in my opinion, is severely underrated because it kind of gets lost a bit. Maybe Scuffum don't have the massive marketing budget of, your Neural DSPs or Amplitude, so IK Multimedia or Native Instruments or Positive Grid. However, in my opinion, this software is the only amp sim that I have ever used that really captures the nuance and the sort of compression characteristics and feel of some of the amps that they're trying to sort of emulate. However, what it also has that some of these other ones don't have is a much smaller range of amplifiers and effects with a massive scope of tones. So what it proves to me is that you do not need, let's say 100 odd amplifiers, like maybe something like Amplitude 5 has, with heaps of options when you have these 5 amps that have a lot of character just within the 5 amps and some basic cabinets and effects. You can get a lot done. So we're going to dive into the software now. I'm just going to start by playing some of my favorite presets so you can hear the breadth of tone that is available. So here we are now in S-Gear 3, and I've just loaded the sort of first preset you will hear, which is the American Clean preset. And all this is the Wayfarer amplifier, which is sort of a Fender / Mesa Mark II inspired circuit. As you can see, it has a clean channel, as I'll play now. But it also has the lead 1 and 2 stages, with some controls you'd expect to find on a Mesa, so the 5-band EQ, the lead brilliance switch, the mid shift, the bass shift, which you'd find on, say, a Mesa Boogie Mark II or Mark II-C as well. And it's just running through a 112 California combo, which is sort of Fender or Mesa inspired anyway. So just for some quick context, I'm playing through my Yamaha Pacifica 611 HFM with the stock Seymour Duncan pickups into my Audient ID44 interface, straight in, so you can hear it as is in S-Gear here. So if I just switch S-Gear off for a second, you can hear the direct, unaltered sound. Quite bland and boring, as you'd expect from a guitar straight into an interface. And I turn on this first preset, you can hear it's one of my all-time favorite clean presets. I go back to it so often. So you can hear a really nice, clean sound with a fairly flat EQ and just a simple cabinet and a spring reverb emulation here. Nothing too crazy. That's what this room thing is. It's their reverb emulator, which sounds amazing. In my opinion, this has the sound and character of a spring without that sort of annoying hiss or like hum you might typically get from some of the traditional amp spring tanks. Really nice spring, like a very clean spring. Let's go through some other presets now. As you can see, we have the banks, which are some other ones I've downloaded, as well as the stock ones that come with it. They're all available on their website, by the way, these extra banks. But I'm just in the factory ones for now. Let's just go to preset 2, Blue Claptonite. So this is based on the Steeler amplifier, which is essentially Mike Scuffum's take on a Marshall amp, or like a Park amp, so sort of a predecessor to Marshall. As Mike used to work at Marshall and was a big proponent and designer of the JMP1 MIDI preamp, this gives you an idea for sort of Mike's take on this sort of Marshall sound. Really nice, plenty of warmth, but also that little bit of sort of grit and hair of those classic Plexi circuits. And this amp, just to show you now, has an interesting control, which is this bright contour switch. Now, what this essentially does is it takes you from your sort of darker, more super bass-like circuits, in my opinion, like a normal channel, right through to your super lead type circuit. So if I take it all the way down, let's listen to that. And then I will bring that all the way up. So it essentially scoops out some low end, gets you more of those high mids as well. So this preset had it like roughly just over halfway, which is like a good combination. It's almost like turning up your normal and bright channels so they kind of blended nicely. We have another EQ settings in here, presence, and this has the amp drive switch as well as a boost and a push. These are all effective ways of taking this amp from either a clean circuit right through to this sort of lowish drive, right through to some quite pushed plexi type sounds. And if you add the drive pedal on top of that, you're essentially getting like a sort of boosted, almost JCM 800 type character, in my opinion. This is also using the delay thing, which is Mike's take on a delay unit, which has quite a few sounds. You can kind of get Memory Man-esque sounds out of it with the modulation, which is really nice. Go through some other presets. Let's skip over a few. I'll skip Smooth Lead for now. We'll go Plex Monster. So this is Mike's take on a driven sort of plexi. A 412 vintage basket weave M25. So, greenback loaded 412 with 257, so 2 microphones. So let's hear what that sounds like. I love this tone. With that delay as well. Phenomenal sound. And you can see that's just with that one amp. We went from kind of lowish gain into this sort of higher gain thing. Let's pick a different one. Let's go for, see if there's any others with other amps here. Stadium Shred. So this is showing you the sort of other side, other character of the Wayfarer amplifier. We're now getting into a sort of Mesa, shreddy type sounds, like a Lukather-esque thing. So let's listen to that. So you can hear how absolutely amazing that is. Plenty of sustain. And that's with the delay off. If I expand the delay and switch it on. Sounds absolutely awesome, right? That's so good. For a stock preset, it's amazing. And it has plenty of reverb, don't get me wrong, but it's not overly kind of affected with heaps of just crazy stuff going on. There are those in here, but it keeps it kind of usable and easy. From there, that's a starting point that you could tweak from quite simply. Took it a couple more. Maybe we will do Heaven. This is one of my all-time favorite presets in anything I've ever used before. I love this sound. Beautiful long reverb, which just sounds so nice. It carries on. That's the Heaven Room preset in the Room thing as well. You can hear these reverbs are just absolutely amazing, which is just based on Room 1, but that's been tweaked to give you that longer, lush kind of sound. So let's move on from there. We have here, That's Mr. Ford to You. So this is based on the Duke amplifier. It's another one of the amps. And it has a sort of clean and a dirty switch, kind of inspired by Robin Ford's Dumble. So we have some different OD voicings for the overdrive channel. You see we have clean and dirty here. And this is the preset just to give you an idea. So it's quite nice. So it's that sort of almost like just on the edge of drive. It's not an overdrive, but it feels like it wants to take off. And that's on my neck pickup. If I switch to the bridge pickup here. So you can hear it's really nice and delicate, that sound. And if I wanted to, it's a good time to show you the drive pedal. There's only one drive pedal available in here, but it's just gives you so much nice push. So if I click on this little symbol up here next to the tuner, it says the pedal board, virtual pedal board. And I have a few pedals. I've got a drive, a compressor, and a wah, which is really nice too. Here's the drive. It has a couple of clipping options and a simple gain, tone, and level. Very simple, nothing fancy here. If I activate that, it's that nice mid push, you know, that you get from like a Tube Screamer or a Klon or something like that. So as you can hear, that's not about to give you any levels of distortion, but what it is going to give you is that push. So the idea is you get your gain from the amplifiers, and then you kind of, from there, can add the pedal just to send it over the edge, or how you might traditionally use a Tube Screamer. So next one I'll go to is the 4-voice chorus. This is again the Duke on a cleaner setting. And we have 2 choruses here. As you can see, the mod thing can be a chorus or a flanger. And some delay and a 412 with a ribbon 160 on the cap edge. Here we go. It's that beautiful sort of 80s chorus sound. Sounds amazing. Moving on from there, let's do the Jackal. So this is Jackal Country. This is based on a clean Jackal. Now the Jackal is another one of the amps. This is sort of Mike's nod to a Soldano SLO type circuit, from my understanding. As you can see by the purple Tolex, they did a lot of customized Tolexes back in the day where you could order, you know, the snake skin or the purple kind of. That's what Soldano and, like, I think of Splawn as well, did a lot of that kind of cool stuff. So this is just as a simple, like a slapback, I think. Yeah, so it's a country type. Just a nice sort of clean with a slapback, which is great. And that amp can get super high gain too, which I have here. So this is meant to be based on Unchained by Ed Van Halen. I never learned to play it, but here's a sort of heavier Jackal sound with a flange. Just a really cool higher gain 80s inspired sound. Moving along, see if we can find some other ones here. Let's go for American Pushed Clean. So this is, again, the Wayfarer, with just a little bit more push. Maybe inspired by the pushed setting on something like a dual rectifier or something like that. Then we have Custom 57. Now this is the other amp. We might have gone through them all by now. Yes, this is the final amplifier. This is based on a 57 Tweed amplifier, Fender. And it's one of the newer ones. I think probably the newest, or maybe second newest. So this is a 57. Now this, you can get quite a bit of drive out of, like those traditional ones do. So if I turn the level down and I boost the volume, this is like boosting the volume on the amp, because obviously we have a master volume here in the digital domain, so we're not going to deafen ourselves. Turn the level up just a bit, and I'll bring this bright up. So for this guitar, it's actually quite a dark guitar, so it helps kind of brighten it. So it's almost like driving a Bassman or something like that, right? So you get that kind of idea from this, which is really great. One of my favorite amps in here, actually. Moving right along, let's find some other ones. I'll move down to these like later presets. We have Tweed Heaven, which is again that sort of heaven sound, but instead of using the Marshall-inspired amp, we're now using the Tweed-inspired amplifier. Really nice again. Now we're getting into these some other ones. So this is New York Studio. It's using the New York Studio preset in the room thing. So it looks like the amp might even be not active. Yeah, so it's not even on because this is an effect preset. You can use these reverbs and delays and things for other sounds too, like for reverbs for your vocal or for drums or for just a general mix verb. They're really cool. Then we have getting into some of these other ones. This is a Plexi Crunch 1. I love that amp so much. Then we have Plexi Crunch 2. Sorry, in the opposite direction. Slightly brighter sound there. And he's done a couple of sort of Vox-inspired sounds. I guess he's using the Juke to achieve that. So that's pretty cool. And then we have some Mesa Boogie Mark II inspired sounds. He's a Mark II lead inspired preset. So what I want to show you with this while I'm here is I would like to show you this delay thing, some of the tweakability we have here. So if I just set up a delay sound and I bring in some of the modulation, and I go for the tube setting, you can hear it gets nice and sort of analog sounding. Really cool. And that can be a couple of ways. So that can be done in mono. It can be done in stereo. Or it can be done in a tap. So we get this there's kind of different patterns here. And we can adjust the stereo width of that as well. It's pretty cool. And we have a couple different modulation options. It's quite sick. We have no modulation. We have a sine wave or a triangle wave as well. It's a pretty awesome delay. I'll just show you maybe one more preset, maybe from a different pack. So this is from the drive-through pack, which is based on that drive pedal. So these are all presets that are kind of designed to show off the new drive pedal when it came out. Let's do Blackface Drive 2. It's based on a Fender Blackface with a simple drive sound. So pretty cool there. So that's basically the basic tones on offer. The only thing I would love to see, and I don't know if Mike is working on it, I know that he's not really a bass player, guitar focused, but it would be great to have just a bass amp in here and maybe like a couple of bass cabs, because I'm not sure what the deal with Redwires was, because I use all Redwires impulses, but I can imagine it would be pretty simple from the big box, so just bringing one or two of the bass IRs and a bass amp, like an Ampeg inspired type thing would be really awesome. It's doable. You can get some bass sounds from the Tweed if you load your own bass impulse responses or have no impulse response, so use this more like a DI type sound. It'd be great to see some extra stuff from there. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you sort of the basics of how to create your own preset here. So what I have here is the American Clean preset without the reverb, and I've just adjusted the EQ ever so slightly, but that's just my clean sound there. Pretty simple. I'm going to change cab to something that's more, I love 412s. They sound awesome. So I'm going to go for the 412 Vintage Basket Weave, my favorite cab in here. Just gives you a bit more of that scooped, and I like the brightness it has. because I've never been a huge fan of the Fender cabs all the time, because sometimes they can have a slightly muffled character, either due to the size, probably. And here we also have, just to show you the cabs features, we have remastered, which at some point Redwire's had their IRs remastered, and that's, you can switch that on, you can hear the difference. Here's remastered. Here's regular. Just opens up the bottom end, kind of cleans up some of the bottom end a little bit. You have the delay option, which is great for if you're running two cabinets in stereo. You can delay one slightly by a few milliseconds just to give it that sort of wider feeling and make them sound even wider. We're not going to do that right now. We have the Z control, which is sort of adjusting the impedance of the speaker. I'm not 100% certain on the physics of it, but essentially it gives you like a more scooped sound. I'm going to leave it where it is for now. And we have a two-band sort of EQ, like shelves, a bass and a treble, essentially, and leave them where they are as well. So from here, I essentially can create my ideal sounds. So I've got my clean channel, which was this. I could go in and say, all right, I'd like to have a drive sound for my rhythm stuff. So I could turn on my lead, and I'll bring up the lead drives pretty high, actually. And I might just give the lead a bit of brilliance. Let's gain up. Bring the level down to compensate. A little bit much drive. So I'll bring the treble up. That's getting more into that sort of rhythm territory there. High cut down. And I might even adjust the positioning of this mic. I could try the other mic, for example, to the 160. No, I prefer the 57 in this case. And this is where the EQ can come in handy. I can roll off some low end, add a bit of treble. That's pretty cool. And I could turn the EQ on if I wanted to shape that sound even more. I've got a 5-band EQ here. That's sort of the power of the Mesa amps, that 5-band EQ, at least the ones that have it. You can really shape your sound independently of, you know, how the amp sounds, because it kind of allows you to tweak for the guitar, allows you to tweak for the particular mix you're trying to seed it in. So you've got a few options there. So that's that. I'll go back to the clean channel for a moment. I'll just bring the level up to compensate because they're different settings. Up if my volume was turned up. There we go. That's my clean sound there. With a little bit of hair on it, which is nice. So now what I'm going to do is just show you how to add a bit of reverb. So I right-click here, add rack device, room thing, and it loads on the medium hall preset. Let's hear that. Okay, that might be what you want, but I can click on it, left-click, and it brings up a bunch of presets that were created. I'm a big fan of Studio B. Now, I'm not sure if that's based on the studio presets from the Bricasti units, but it sounds really nice. And you can tweak from there. So this is the Room 2 mode. Click on this arrow. You basically have a bunch of options that this data control can adjust. So pre-delay is currently at 0.17 milliseconds. If I were to boost that, you can hear what difference it makes. That's obviously nearly verging on delay, but I can have a bit more pre-delay. And you can adjust anything in here. I can go through and individually adjust these settings, which can get a little bit deeper editing, but you may want to do some of that. Or you can just stick to the basic size, decay, and mix controls and things. So if I bring the decay up, say 6.5, you can hear that no longer is Studio B, it's just a room with a longer decay. And I could bring the size down, conversely, which is going to give me a smaller sounding room with a long decay. Or the opposite, I could have a very short decay with a large room. that's a larger room with a short decay. So there's heaps of playing you can do there. You've got a high frequency dampening, a low frequency dampening, and your mix control. That's pretty cool. I'll bring that back. And what you can do as well with this is you can have this hold control. So if I go to maybe one of the longer presets that's kind of got a lot of extension to it, maybe we'll do Astroverb. This is very long. This is based on the hall, so it's been tweaked considerably. Just to show you the settings we have room 1, room 2, plate, booth, hall 1, hall 2, stadium, spring, and delays. That's all the algorithms available to you when creating your own reverb sounds. So if I am to bring the mix up, let's just play an E major chord. Okay, if I was to click hold while that's ringing, it's going to continue to sustain that reverb. But now that's ringing independently, and I can play over that. Really nice, right? And it gives you, and I could essentially add another reverb to that that's more standard, so that I can have reverb while I'm playing over that. And then I might choose to change chords to, say, the F sharp if I'm doing that Lydian type of thing. So you can hear that. So you have some really cool, you can have a lot of fun with that, obviously. So that's the reverb. If I just remove the Astroverb for now, I've showed you the delay already. I'll show you the mod thing. So the mod thing is kind of, in my opinion, based on what I'm seeing, inspired by a sort of TC stereo chorus flanger, as you have a chorus and a flange option, as opposed to your kind of boss thing, which is more of the chorus vibrato choices. If I right-click on that and I go to factory presets, these are the ones that it comes with, just to show you some of the sounds you can get. 80s chorus, my understanding is it's going to give you the classic, I think of Def Leppard when I think of that. But really nice sound. You have one inspired by more of the sort of CE1, CE1 type thing, which is the Boss CE1. So if I play, there's your sort of CE1 type thing. We have Dimension 1, 2, 3, and 4, again inspired by the Boss Dimension C type stuff. Here's Dimension 1. And then if I just jump to Dimension 4, you can hear the difference in character. So that's got a lot more sort of depth to it. Rockman chorus, inspired by the Rockman amp unit pedal. Oh yeah. Really nice. Maybe one more so you can hear maybe more of a flange type sound. So this is the Stereo Mistress preset, inspired by the Electro Harmonics Electric Mistress, I think it's called. that's really cool. And that's kind of the Mon thing. You got the chorus flanger and a few different settings to your taste. So the classic rate and depth and a stereo width as well. And then you have tone, so how dark or bright you want the effect to be, a mix, how much of it, feedback, and a delay. To be honest, the delay part of things, maybe if someone can explain it to me, but the delay side of chorus and flanger, I've never really understood. Possibly because a lot of the choruses and flangers I've used over the years have been omitting that control because they're just simple, pedals like the Boss stuff. But if anyone knows what the delay control specifically does, be cool to know. One more thing I want to show you real quick is the Pro Convolver, which is your cabinet emulation. You've got some red wires impulses, so a 112 with an Eco Blues, 112 with a classic ceramic speaker, 212 with M25s, 212 1960B Bletchley cabinet, which I'm thinking perhaps PV or what's the one with the... I can't quite remember. There's a few that have some interesting speakers, but with the V30s, vintage Baskerville with M25s, an orange-based cab with V30s, and a tweed with P10s, as the 410s used to be, and then a bunch of Scuffum impulses, which were created, I think, before the Redwire stuff was added, potentially. And they're a bunch of different stuff where you can pick a couple different speakers and stuff like that. And then finally, you have some IR filters, which are just sort of basic EQ filters, I think. And then you have a straight DI if you just want to have a DI through, like if you're doing a bass guitar thing or something like that. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this brief overview of Scuffum S-Gear. If there's any other particular software you'd like for me to demo or check out, please let me know. Otherwise, please be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to click that bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Have a great day.